welcome again. Welcome once again to the third episode of the Roughly a Quarter podcast with high quality discussions and low quality audio. I like that motto, I like the fact that we've got that as a motto now.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But it's pretty cool, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But like today, we've only got three of us, unfortunately. Or fortunately, if you don't like Sean's voice. But today we've only got me, myself, Ronan Julian Thompson. We've got Alex.
Yo, 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 yo.
Why do you always say yo, yo, yo?
Wait, it's gonna be
something
like...
else next.
Okay, hello, hello, hello.
There you go.
There we go.
We only have Junming, and we have Junming.
Well, what is up? I'm Junming as always.
We have no special guest today because no one could be bothered.
Unlucky.
But it doesn't matter, we've got three people. Three people is a crowd.
It's gonna be a chill episode.
Gonna be a chill episode. Let's kick things off. And I want to talk about Ben 10.
Whoa.
It's a bit
of a sensitive topic right there.
It's a bit of a specific topic, right? Wow. But I was
just
thinking
Ben 10,
about
yeah?
Just Ben 10. Because I was thinking about it. Taj, the guy we had on the podcast last week, recently told me that he's been binge watching Ben 10 as a quarantine sort of thing. He's bored, so he will rewatch Ben 10. And that got me thinking, what would our TV shows that we used to watch look like? What would it sound like? What would it feel like if we went to rewatch it now? Because I was thinking, I really want to rewatch Phineas and Ferb, for instance. Because I still think that's one of the best animated TV series of all time. But I'm scared of rewatching it in case it doesn't give me the same impact that it did.
Same, because
when I first watched it.
Because it's kind of repetitive if you think about it, the show.
It is, yeah. I mean, repetitive in a good way.
Yeah, but it could be worrying. Like, imagine, it might be interesting, but it's like for children, right? So maybe the only thing that we might understand from the show is like an adult joke here or there, but that's it, really. Do they even have adult jokes in Phineas and Ferb?
In Phineas and Ferb, probably.
Probably.
You can watch one of those videos that are like 10 hidden jokes in Phineas and Ferb.
And I feel like if there were to be adult jokes, it's gonna be from Doofenshmirtz.
Yeah. But I mean, sort of forbid myself from watching any shows I used to watch back then, because I know I would either tear it apart or just not have the same sort of happiness associated with it.
Because we're gonna perceive it with like less naive eyes now.
Yeah. Like, this show was great back in the day. Now it looks garbage.
We're gonna there's so many plot holes. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Wait, that's so not cool.
Yeah. Cough, cough, Pokemon animated series.
Oh my gosh, Pokemon. It's at the point where, like, reminds me of One Piece in terms of, like, the filler or whatever. I don't know. Like, that stuff is a bit crazy sometimes. It's like repetitive. The thing that Phineas and Ferb and Pokemon's different, right? The thing, besides both being quite repetitive, so they both have a villain that comes and then their plans get foiled and then they blast off. Again. Yeah, actually. And then the problem is, I feel like Phineas and Ferb, there's, I guess, sort of more consistent development in the show, because I feel as though, some jokes are reoccurring and stuff like that, but then for Pokemon, they treat each episode, sometimes at least from what I remember, as like a completely new episode. It doesn't feel like too much connection. Not too much connection.
No continuation, yeah.
But here's the thing I want to talk about, though, while we're on the point of Phineas and Ferb. I've been rewatching it lately as well because of all the quarantine stuff. You have nothing to watch, and then
nothing to do.
The YouTube recommendation algorithm got to me, and I found myself rewatching like the Phineas and Ferb videos. Like, we've all been there, right? YouTube just randomly recommends something.
Of course, yeah.
And then I remember it used to be a really cool, fun pastime with my cousins and I. We just wait for the episode to play on Nickelodeon or Disney Channel. Then it just like it hit me. It's like, it amuses me how genius of a show it is, where it can have the same reoccurring, like, I would say, storyline where every episode follows the same pattern.
Yeah, and so different.
Yeah, like every episode follows this trend. Phineas and Ferb build something, Candace tries to bust them, while Perry goes and does do secret agent thing with Doofenshmirtz, and then you have the same jokes every episode, and then like you will tune into every episode knowing that Phineas is gonna say, "I know what we're gonna do today," and Perry the
And then
Platypus
Isabella, what
theme
you
song.
doing?
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like one of the only shows, right, where we know what's gonna happen at the end of every episode, and yet we still enjoy quite literally every second of it.
Because it's
And-
the journey. It's the journey.
Yeah,
the journey,
it just
yeah.
amuses me how they can do, how genius of a concept it was, right, to have a recurring theme like this, and still somewhat come up with quite consistent storyline down the line, if you say that, because I think you guys all know, like, it has ended already.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
technically,
Yeah.
because the spin-off is still sort of continuing here.
There's a spin-off?
Yeah, it's called Milo Murphy's
Milo
Law.
Murphy's,
It's
yeah.
set in the same place. They have like Phineas and Ferb and Doofenshmirtz on as recurring characters.
But
Oh, I
they're no
never
longer
knew
like the
that.
main focus of
But yeah, they're not the main character. Yeah,
I gotta watch that actually. I didn't know
don't
that
think it's
existed.
good. I don't think it's as good. It feels a bit forced.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
but
a
then-
shame.
Now that we're on it, like, what other cartoons or shows have you guys watched from your childhood days? Like, you've mentioned Ben 10 just now, Ronan.
Yeah, well, not just now. Maybe like a few minutes ago. But
Like, at the beginning of the podcast.
I don't know. I don't really watch many because like I said, I don't want to go back in case I tear it apart. I tried rewatching Sonic X. I don't know if anyone else here has watched Sonic X.
I watched, but I never rewatched, so
You
my
don't remember.
memory's so vague.
Actually, never
It
heard
was-
of it.
It's Sonic the Hedgehog. It was an anime of Sonic the Hedgehog that was like, think about how bad Pokemon is in terms of plot continuance, and then make it 10 times worse, and chuck in every single anime cliche you can think of. You know, like
Shouting power-ups.
It's not great. Let me tell you that. But I tried rewatching it, thinking, I'm bored. I've got nothing else to do. I'll rewatch it. It's like 4 seasons long, like 100 episodes, and I'll rewatch it. And I watched it, and I couldn't get through 3 episodes of it because it was that bad.
Was it like really corny?
It's just so corny. It's just so cheesy. It doesn't help that I was watching it American dubbed, and the dubbing actors weren't great. I couldn't stomach it. It was just that bad. And to think that, I don't know how long ago, maybe 10 years ago, I would literally stay up until 3 in the morning watching on my really, really crappily broken iPhone 3G, watching Sonic X dubbed. Oh no, it'll be like those, in YouTube, like Sonic X episode 14, part 1 of 6.
Oh wow!
I'd watch those until 2 in the morning.
You're really
and-
struggling.
Exactly, I can't believe this was the show I used to watch back in the day. I actually found so much enjoyment. from the show
funny
back
thing is, I remember you saying how good it was, Sonic X. You're like, dude, Sonic was so good. The ending hit me so hard and everything. I was like,
The
God.
ending did hit me, but going back and actually watching it, the ending sucks.
my God.
So, it's like one of those shows that you really enjoyed as a kid, but then when you rewatch it now, you're just
Yeah,
like, why did I enjoy
that was-
this?
when I was praising it, like Alex said, that was completely nostalgia talking. I was thinking, I actually cried during the ending. It must have been amazing. And then I go and watch it. It's dumb. It makes no sense. The secondary character, right, the love interest of one of the main characters, explodes and then
Wow.
gets turned into a plant
That's the plan.
I
to
mean, 10
stop
out of 10 ending,
aliens
am I
from
right?
invading. Exactly. And what? I can't even explain it. That's just dumbing it down. It's much more complicated than that, and yet it still sounds just as bad.
That is just.
But I tried rewatching that. It didn't go well. Long story short, I'll try rewatching something else from my childhood. Something that I think is objectively good. Something anything else.
Well,
Anything else?
Anything else. Anything else is probably better than Sonic X.
Yikes.
I mean, I have been rewatching quite a few shows lately, right? And then there's these 2 shows I really want to bring up. One of which I enjoyed much more now, and one of them surprisingly don't. And it's probably gonna sound weird to some people, but rewatching the older episodes of SpongeBob now,
Yeah.
I
Yes.
kind of dislike it. And it's like, wait, it used to be my 100% go-to show for the
Wait, what do you
longest
mean by
of my childhood.
older episodes? Do you mean like first 2 seasons or like the middle seasons? Because old SpongeBob is everything. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I would define like my old, maybe like when I started watching it from the 2007 to the 2012-ish era.
So not like early SpongeBob.
Yeah,
when
like
the
around that
animation was a
era
bit
SpongeBob.
better. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was quite shocked because I was rewatching episodes, right? And then I would get a few chuckles here and there, but then I realized just how much I look at the show differently now. Like, of course, as a kid, right, back then, I'm pretty sure everyone agrees with this. We did not like Squidward as a kid.
No, actually, I liked him because I like his voice. You know,
I
like,
like his voice.
SpongeBob.
But then,
I like
unlike
his voice.
his personality, you know, it's always like so grim and gloomy, and like he's complaining about everything. Right?
Yeah, you didn't like how he was a joy killer basically.
Yeah, and then I don't know why I just rewatched it, right? And then it was like an unconscious mumble. I just went like, "Oh yeah, if I was Squidward, I have these neighbors, I would be doing the same thing." And I'm like, "Hold up, did I just relate to Squidward?" And like that never happened ever.
Oh, I see so many Twitter posts that are like, childhood is when you like watching SpongeBob, adulthood is when you begin to relate with Squidward. Something like that.
Oh, right, those meme posts, yeah.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, the meme posts, as cheesy as they sound, they do actually raise it.
They make a lot of sense because I felt like, as much as I was still enjoying the comedic factor of SpongeBob, right, it's still a really good show. I just started to feel like, oh damn, you know, I kind of don't like that life. You know, I relate to like Squidward's
Yeah,
feelings, which abruptly then it brings me to another show, right, which I rewatched quite a few series of, and I love it much more now compared to when I was a child, and that's Digimon.
Ooh.
I never watched Digimon. The most experience I had on Digimon was I had like a. Do you remember those like small little device things? That
Yes,
look like mobile
the
phones?
Digivices.
My friend gave me one of those. Well, he didn't give me. He lent it to me, and I broke it.
Oh no.
Oh my. But
Yeah,
yeah, but then
that was a bit of a tangent.
it was just like, you know, I was thinking, right? When I was watching Digimon as a kid, to me it was always like knockoff Pokemon.
Yeah.
You battle, you evolve, and then, oh yeah, you battle again, right? But then, and like, to just make it clear, I'm just gonna specifically talk about the first season, like the OG Digimon. And then, upon rewatching it, right, I'm just like, hold up. This plot is much darker than I thought. Cause, to put like, I would say a junk description of it, right, the plot line. You have these bunch of kids that were in a camp. They're having a camping trip, right?
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere they get literally sucked into this portal thing, and then they end up in this place called Digital World. So up to this point, it's still gonna be like, oh wow, you know, they get to the Digital World, they meet their own Digimon, they're gonna battle, they're gonna befriend each other, and then it's gonna be all battling, the saving the world cliche, right?
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, that was my big perspective of it. And then I watched the video another day as well, before I rewatched the entire series, right? And then I just got like, this thing is so much more, I would say, so much deeper. Because you had each kid representing a personality trait of their own. And then, because there's just like one mechanic in Digimon where you evolve, you had the champion evolution, and you got the mega evolutions and everything. Like, not the Pokemon mega evolution, obviously.
Yeah, but like
Okay.
to go further beyond kind of.
Yeah, and the way I liked it was they evolved based on their partner's traits and their feeling and everything. So to not overcomplicate things, I'll take the main protagonist, right? His partner Agumon. His trait is literally courage, and there's this one episode that used to haunt me as a child because he would force him to digivolve into his ultimate state. I don't remember the stages. And because of like this forcefully try to get stronger thing, right? It kind of went against his courageous trait because it was more like, I just want to fight and I'm scared of losing. That's why I'm forcing to digivolve to fight for me. And it transpired to this thing where he digivolved into a really scary looking one, and he went complete off control and everything like that. That's like the gist of it. And it was like a few episodes later, right? They explained it and was like, yeah, mate, like, you're supposed to be the courageous one, the leader, and then by forcefully making your partner fight for you, you're like, it's a cowardly act. And only after like life lessons, a few more plot lines, he goes like, he finds out like true courage, the meaning of true courage.
Yeah.
And only they manage to get the right Digivolution. They beat the bad character. And it's the same for like most characters, you know, like we have friendship, courage, honesty, knowledge.
I mean, yeah, they're all the cartoon stereotypes.
All the cartoon stereotypes.
The true meaning of friendship.
Yeah. And then, but it still got me thinking, it's like, how many of us compared Pokemon with Digimon back then, right? Without really understanding storylines. We just compare them. And then,
I still think Digimon is a rip-off Pokemon. That's not like a dig on Digimon, but like I always viewed it as a rip-off Pokemon, and I probably still view it until I actually get to experience it.
I think it's just a bandwagon, same thing that happened with...
It's definitely a bandwagon thing, and I joined that bandwagon. It's just that I'm having a hard time getting off it.
Yeah, same with Yokai Watch and Pokemon, right? That's also a bandwagon.
Oh, right, Yokai Watch, yeah.
But Yokai Watch is, like, I would say the most different out of the three.
Oh yeah, because it's just the only thing that's got similar is you capture spirits.
Yeah, Yokai Watch is more of slice of life than anything.
And also that ending song.
Yeah,
the dancing one.
They made my little brother have to do that dance in school or something.
Oh god.
That's tragic, mate.
Yeah, you guys should watch it. Those listening at home. Oh my gosh, that dance. I don't know. If you want your brothers to dance like that, or like your siblings, go for it. I'm sure they don't know what they're doing, but it's gonna look silly.
I honestly, okay, you kept saying courage, right? And you said haunting you for life. So that just, two and two together. Courage the Cowardly Dog Show.
Oh. Another classic.
Oh my gosh,
I'm still scared of it.
There's this one episode.
I'm still scared of it.
Do you remember there's this one episode that was so scary? I don't know what it's called, but they used a CGI character in one of the episodes, and it was like, I don't know, it was like in this purple mist. It was in this purple mist. I think I was like balding. He had like 3 strands of hair only or something like that. And
I think I searched up Courage the Cowardly Dog CGI into Google Images, and I think I see what you're talking about.
Yeah, you see what I'm talking about, dude. That thing is scary.
Yeah.
And you remember?
Oh my god! Like they showed this. If I remember correctly, they showed this program at 11 o'clock at night.
Right, because it was like targeted at like more mature kids. Like,
yeah, they showed one of the scariest shows at 11 o'clock at night.
I had nightmares with that CGI thing, man.
Same.
Oh my gosh. I like its voice, the voice. Oh my gosh.
I think I was afraid of the show so much, I wiped it out of my memory because I do not recall a single episode.
Same.
But the feeling of fear and like the uncomfortableness I get from watching it still
it's so
lingers.
uncomforting. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember is the intro, and even then, like if I watch the intro, I start to like. It sparks a chain of memories going. Oh, that's why I didn't watch it. They had this creepy thing and this creepy thing. I just remember, when my mom would be like, "Okay, Ronan, you can stay up a little bit past your bedtime to watch TV." What she meant was you can stay up until 9 o'clock, but she wouldn't notice if I stayed until 11. So I'm a rebel. I'll stay up until 11, and then I'd regret it seriously because I had to watch Courage the Cowardly Dog Show. But I mean, in hindsight, it was a great show at like scaring people.
I wonder if that show still aired till this day. Like, imagine this generation watching it, like this generation of children. I wonder
They'd be
how
like, pretty cringe. Not gonna lie.
I mean, how much of this generation still watches television mainly?
Oh, true. I mean, they mainly watch
That's a good
YouTube.
question. YouTube is probably more accessible and cheaper.
Yeah. Like, I'm starting to get the feeling like, despite only being less than 10 years apart, right, there's already like this kind of generation gap between us and children of this age. Like, we're not even that old, but I just feel like there's already a generation gap between us, because I find myself struggling to communicate with any of my cousins below the age of 14.
Oh yeah, they already have their iPhone 10s, and their Apple Watches.
And their Jake Paul. Nah, maybe not.
Okay, what?
Maybe not. Maybe not.
What does that have to do with anything?
I don't know. I was just thinking, what do young people like to watch? I just
probably not that young.
I think
maybe not that.
Okay, I think not even that Team young. 10 had I think Team 10 is also like at this point not so relevant. So I don't think that's really a big influence.
Yeah, we tell Team 10 who the hell are flipping you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
I completely agree that like there's definitely some kind of a difference because these. I'm not going to sound. I'm going to sound like an old person. You know, these kids nowadays they don't know how they got it, but like they didn't grow up with. I don't know how many of them grew up with actual TV shows nowadays. How many of them are from the very moment they're born sat in front of an iPad made to watch Johnny Johnny Yes Papa for 12 hours on repeat?
But isn't that,
you know?
But isn't that like, okay? First of all, just to support your point, I think to check that the generation gap is going to get wider and wider as technology develops faster and faster. And then moving on, I feel as though this is a parent's fault, right? Like,
Yeah.
the only reason why they have that iPad is because the parents are like, oh, I'm not gonna get TV or whatever, you know. At the same time, it's just
like,
so much more
TV
convenient.
licenses cost.
Yeah, but like people underestimate like the impact of TV, don't you guys think?
What do you mean, like the impact? Like the impact on TV as like a generational thing, like how it influenced the generation.
I feel like people can learn a thing or two when watching TV. You know, it's like side education.
Oh yeah, certainly, yeah.
It's like you learn things without knowing. Like for example, some TV shows they might say fancy words and they explain it, and then you learn from it. I think a really good show that's also like for their generation and also our generation is it's a Netflix show called A Series of Unfortunate
Boss
Events,
Baby
right?
Back in... Oh no,
No, not that one. Not that one.
Boss Baby Back in Business.
Boss Baby's
That
the
one.
goat.
That one shouldn't exist, but yeah, A Series of Unfortunate Events. I mean, they pretty much like run through. I think it's good for all ages because you got like the educational.
Well, I mean, it is good for all ages because our generation would have read it, like the books, and this generation would have watched it.
Yeah, but then like my little brother would like watch it, has watched the whole thing, and he learned quite a few words here and there. So I think TV does help. It's not like he became cynical or anything. He learned.
Yeah.
It was positive. It was a positive outcome.
Well, it has to be the right. It has to be the right entertainment. It has to be the right things you're exposing your child to if you want them to be like a normal functioning member of society.
Yeah, I wonder
like,
how
like don't sit them in front of Spider-Man and Elsa YouTube videos.
Yeah,
I
think people do that. 28 million people.
I know some of my cousins definitely.
That's the thing like we're thinking about, right? Because nothing is really beneficial or harmful completely. It just depends on what you do, like what you watch and what you do with it. Like entertainment for TV, right?
Yeah.
And with Ronan's point, it's like definitely we're gonna talk about more of the dangers of this sort of entertainment with kids in this generation because of YouTube. And like I'm not sure how much you guys agree with this, but in my experience, right, a lot of parents I've seen nowadays, they kind of not care as much for their children. Like they would be too busy with work or doing their own things, right? They just chuck an iPad to them. It's like, oh yeah, just go watch some YouTube videos and just leave us alone. I mean, have you guys really seen that phenomenon anywhere?
Wait, wasn't that something called like an Elsagate thing?
Elsagate, yes. Yeah, Elsagate.
That was like a really big conspiracy.
Yeah.
I can't.
It's not a conspiracy. I don't think it's a conspiracy. I think it's real. I've seen enough videos.
Wait, what was it like? Because I never heard of this.
It was a bunch of YouTube videos that popped up on like the YouTube Kids app, you know, but it was disguised under the guise of, oh, you know, it's got your favorite characters. It's got Elsa. It's got Spider-Man. But it'd be really, really messed up topics like Elsagate, abortion, Spider-Man, heroin addiction. It'll be stuff like that. It
would be. And this was around the time when Frozen was really popular, so you would have kids searching everything related to Elsa.
And then it'd come up with Elsa tears Spider-Man's chest apart, something like that. No, it actually gets that bad.
It gets really bad. It goes worse than that.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia page, and you've got stuff like Evil Santa kidnaps Frozen Elsa and Spider-Man. Frozen Elsa flushes Spider-Man down the toilet. Like, this is what children, like... This is what is available on YouTube that kids have the power to watch.
Elsa... And it's specifically for kids. It was purposely targeted at kids.
Exactly.
Is there like an Elsa Spikes Spider-Man's Chimichanga or something? I don't know.
Elsa Spider-Man Chimichanga, probably.
But the conspiracy part I was talking about, right, is because it was mainly from this one YouTuber I watch a lot, Some Ordinary Gamers. And
yeah, I don't know.
a while back, he was covering this topic on Elsagate, right? And the main conspiracy part was, it is allegedly stated, right, that is a form of like communication between child predators
I saw something like
in
that.
an attempt to normalize pedophilia.
Yes, I saw something like
And that to me is like shocking. And I was like, okay, in the first place, right? How did it manage to get past YouTube and be uploaded on a platform specifically for kids? Like, that absolutely blew my mind. I could not believe it at first.
I mean, the easy answer to that is YouTube, because YouTube are absolutely awful at dealing with anything.
They rely too much on their algorithm.
They rely too much on their algorithm, which is garbage.
Yeah. Well,
But
that
like,
worries me.
yeah, like how can I've seen so many, because you know how YouTubers suddenly started deciding which videos are for kids, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh, this video, and the amount of times I've seen a mature animation. When I mean mature, I don't mean like sexual content, but I mean stuff like gore, swearing, stuff like that. I'll see a mature animation, but because it's animated, it's labeled as for kids.
Yeah.
Like, you could tell the algorithm's not working as well as it should do. And you can tell, like, this is the reason why so many of those Elsa gets brain cancer videos are popping up on kids' YouTube, because the algorithm doesn't work, and YouTube doesn't care about the algorithm. Because they just want children to sit in front of their iPad and keep clicking the new video.
Because it's... And I'm not sure if it's still the case, but kids' videos, for the longest of time, earns the highest amount of ad revenue.
Yes.
For sure. That
It
makes
earns
sense.
a ridiculous amount of ad revenue. Because kids don't care about ads, because half the time they're just waiting for the next video.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's like, in a sense, you really had... Even if it wasn't as cynical as the pedophilia conspiracy, right? It's still quite messed up to do something like that. Like, to just get higher ad revenue and publish things like these to kids. And I'm still more likely to believe that it was something that cynical, given what we've seen and heard from it.
Mm.
I mean, this is why.
But I mean, like...
Yeah?
I was going to say, like, what do you think this would mean? How do you think... I know this is very... I don't know how to put this. It doesn't seem right coming from us, because I'm about to ask 3 teenaged blokes who probably won't have kids for a long time. I'm going to ask them, how do you think kids will react to this? How do you think these kids are going to grow up?
I mean,
I feel like we're not in the position just yet.
Just think about how we felt when we watched something like Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Exactly, yeah.
We were either we were traumatized, basically. Like, not too badly traumatized,
Maybe not
but...
traumatized, but like, we were...
It left an
worried.
uncomfortable feeling in us to this day. It lingers within us. Like, we still... I'm not sure about you, but I still cannot look at the show like properly without feeling fear.
I feel though, as the entertainment was... I think it was this... The fear was entertaining in a way. Like, sure, I got nightmares, but that's just a kid thing.
Yeah.
It was really entertaining to watch regardless,
Yeah,
and it wasn't that
point
scary.
being, that was an authorized TV program. It was it was an authorized show for cable TV, and it was able to deliver such an effect on us. So imagine now, this is like pretty much unmonitored content, and like I mentioned just now, right? A lot of parents nowadays, maybe because of work, like because of the living standards and stuff, a lot of them really do have no choice. They have to spend more time away from their kids working, and the best way to distract them is by giving them the iPad or
YouTube,
the phone or anything, just YouTube, yeah.
Yeah,
so
I think for our generation, we just got lucky because, for me at least, my parents would, watch TV with me, right? It would be monitored and everything. And they'll also, they'll get DVDs of Barney or whatever. Like, if we're going really far back, we got Barney and Teletubbies, right? So, I feel something must have happened that made either parents more busier or parents not care as much and take the content on YouTube for granted.
I think it's the second one. People just see the convenience of YouTube.
Yeah,
and use
it's
it as
definitely
an
like
excuse to babysit their children.
It's just so easy, they can be crying or demanding for something. You just shove them a laptop, shove them an iPad, and they'll be glued to the screen for hours and hours. They're just gonna be content
but
with
that's
the iPad,
that shouldn't be the way that they get raised.
So-
It's gonna be kind of annoying.
Of course, it shouldn't be.
It
kept.
shouldn't be the way.
But
We're
the
not saying
problem
it should be the
problem
way.
is a lot of people in the modern world do not
Yeah,
have
that's a
time to
bummer,
raise their
honestly.
kids properly. Because it's either raise your kids properly or not have money to do your job, or not have money to pay your rent.
And even
it's
then,
an
it's like
unfortunate consequence of what the world has come to at the moment.
we can all agree parenting these days are gradually going down a downward hill just because of the amount of people. Like, you just go on the news every day and you can see articles, right, that make you go, these people do not deserve to be parents.
I don't think it's going downhill, because I think that's a bit of
overstatement. Overstatement.
A stretch
a
or a
false
generalization.
statement. It's a very big generalization. I feel like it's one of those things where, like, we'll say it, and then the generation that comes after us will say it, and then the generation that comes after us will say it. It's
That's
like
a fair point.
Grass is greener on the other side. But, like, I do feel that, I see far too many instances of absolutely awful parenting.
Yeah.
And just to think that it probably is just going to turn into a cycle, not an awful parent. I wouldn't say awful, because that's probably a bit too cruel, but an unattentive parent will give their child an iPad, and then therefore that child will grow up not knowing how to care after a child based on their own experiences. So they'll do the same thing when they have a child, and they'll stick that child in front of an iPad, and
Yeah,
it's
that's a
just
bit terrifying to think of, but I mean, on the idea of influence, right? So we were talking about Courage the Cowardly Dog and how it made us scary, but we didn't really talk about how, well, it doesn't have to be this show, but how any show at all would influence us as a person. Is that possible? Do you guys think that's possible?
I wouldn't say it's impossible. It's because it wouldn't be like too obvious of influences, honest. At least I don't feel it, but I feel like one of the big influences that these cartoons or these animes I've watched as a kid, right? It kind of builds this idea in my mind that, oh wow, with the power of friendship, anything can be solved. Therefore, treat your friends well. Don't treat them like garbage. I'll say that's the only influence that comes into my mind.
Any shows in mind?
Yeah, a lot of the. Cool. I don't know, because a lot of the shows I watched are always under the guise of, like, social outcast kid or something like that. Stuff like Fairly Odd Parents, Like, that's what I used to watch quite a lot back in the day. And, like, if you think about it, that show's completely, like, that's an awful show to learn from, because at the heart of things, Timmy is a socially inept loner, in a way. Like, unfortunately, as is to say it, but he's a socially inept loner, and, like, he only succeeds because of his parents, or fairly godparents.
Cosmo Wanda.
Exactly. So, like, I don't know if that should be what influences you or not.
As a kid, right? When you watch something as a kid, it's like monkey see, monkey do. Eventually, to an extent, you're gonna do something because a show did something similar, or you're gonna learn something, maybe to a small extent or a bigger extent for more people. But as a kid, we gotta remember monkey see, monkey do, right? So, do you guys ever had that?
Or like where
yeah,
you
like
tried to
something
copy
silly, like it
something
could
you
be.
saw on TV.
I remember.
Mate, I used to have fake Pokemon battles with my friend in primary school, where I pretend to
definitely.
be the Pokemon.
Or
yeah,
anyone who has watched Naruto at one point has tried to do Shadow Clone Jutsu with the Rasengan.
Or something.
Yeah.
Or the amount of times you do a Beyblade match and think that your Beyblades are actually moving when you told it to.
No. Ben 10, we go back to the start. We would take any watch and pretend it's the Omnitrix.
Of course, those watches that have like the clicky thing that you move around?
Yeah, we would pull it out and slap it back in.
No kid hasn't done that and slapped it and pretended it was
Yeah, we would pull it out and probably just slap it back in and
that.
pretend we're transforming.
Exactly. No kid wouldn't like that.
Wait, who's your favorite?
You weren't a kid if you didn't do that.
Who's your favorite?
Yeah.
He's like he's my favorite alien. From Ben 10?
Yeah.
Diamond Head, probably, because he looks the coolest.
I was more of a Stormfire guy. Oh no, it's not Stormfire. What? Swampfire.
Swampfire.
Where does Stormfire
Swampfire.
come from?
Swampfire.
Jesus.
Were you confusing her with Star?
I was trying to think, where does Stormfire come in?
I think
Teen
so.
Titans.
I think so, yeah. Wait, how about you?
Mine would be Upgrade. I just like the concept
Upgrade's
of just
cool.
being...
Upgrade's cool. Just the fact that
you can just go onto anything, and just literally upgrade it, as the name suggests. So I was like, ooh, I just loved it.
Man, he could upgrade my PC, my laptop, or something, please. Easy.
Yeah, but then you have a human being inside of your laptop at all times. And also, literally, as soon as he gets bored, your laptop goes back to what it was before.
Yeah, true. Oh yeah, but back on the topic of like influence for me, I feel as though because of the amount of shonen I watched when I was a kid, so especially Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, the idea of like never giving up and pushing your limits has like definitely been in my head because of those shows. I can definitely say that it was a part of an influence. Like the idea of if you work hard enough, you'll eventually succeed, and you gotta push the limit, and things will always get harder and harder, but you'll get stronger and stronger. And I feel like that's true. And recently, like for the past year, so not I'm not really vocal about this, but I tried to do a bit of amateur Overwatch, right, for the past year. And so I remember starting off as a high gold player, right? And what reminded me was that, oh, like in Dragon Ball, you have a low power level. So I had a low power level, right?
Yeah.
And ahead of me, you see all these strong players, right? And you see them on the big screen. You see them doing their cool stuff in the esports. And then when you get into a team, you start seeing it in your face, in front of the screen. Like you're spectating a scrim from a high level scrim, and then you're like, whoa, I want to do that too. Like maybe when Naruto sees Kakashi do something cool, right? Like you want to do that too, right?
Right.
And the idea was like throughout that year, I kept pushing the limit, but the opponents would always get harder and harder, but we would also get stronger and stronger. So I feel like Shonen does grasp an idea of working hard to push the limit is always the best thing to do. I mean, that's what they keep reoccurring. That's what they keep at least insinuating in all their shows. Like look at One Piece, look at Naruto, look at Dragon Ball. You have to admit, there's always time and time again that one part where they're like about to lose, and then they break the ice, they break their limit, and then they push through, and then they pop off, right?
Yeah. Because it's like
I feel like that's an
Sorry, you can continue first.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say it's like an over exaggeration of what happens in real life. You too can break the ice. Of course, not on that extent. You're not gonna go Super Saiyan in anything, but
What?
you can get. Yeah, dude, it's a shame. Trust me, I tried doing Kamehameha in dreams. It didn't work.
Are you telling me I can't be over 9,000?
Darn it.
Wait, if we actually sidetrack, I had this one dream which makes me sad till this day. So it was like the most random dream. I'll just sidetrack because I just think it's so funny for no reason. So I was like, for some reason, I was running in a shopping mall in Thailand, right? And I had both the fairy godparents next to me, and I was trying to shoot a Kamehameha so many times, and it didn't work. And I woke up from my dream being so upset because despite all the supernatural things happening, I couldn't shoot a Kamehameha. That is so sad.
That's kind of sad though, yeah.
First world problems, right?
First world problems, bro.
So my dream couldn't like configure a plasma beam coming out of my hand. That's so sad. But yeah, back on the topic. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, I would agree with you because just like I previously said, right? If you were to ask me if there were any specific influences that shows I watched as a kid had on me, it had to be the shonen anime because as much as we bash on the typical cliches and we laugh about it, right? I can't deny the fact that just watching shows like Naruto, because I grew up watching Naruto. So the idea of friendship above all, not solving problems with hatred, and just striving to live towards your dream, no matter what obstacle gets in your way, just be yourself and try to live your dream. I guess those are the values that stuck in me unconsciously to this day. Yeah.
Wait, this is a bit of a stretch, but do you guys think that Shonen is low-key trying to help continue Japan's, hard work ethic?
I think that's probably a bit of a stretch.
It's a bit of a stretch. It's a bit of a stretch, but if you think about it, look at the connection, right? You make anime, which is really flashy about working hard and getting better. And you know how in Japan, they work hard, they go for long hours. In the show, they have long training hours, they also have to work hard, right? Do you think that could be a very subtle thing? I'm not saying that's an actual connection, but I think it's a really cool coincidence.
I think it's a psychological thing that sort of tells people, oh, see, you have to go above all out to succeed in life. That sort of thing. I'm not going to say it's I'm not going to say yes, this is definitely what happens, but I mean, work culture in Japan is already not great.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some not backwards minded people who don't twisted people who think yes, this is how things should be. I'm apply this to my daily life, I'm gonna never give less than 110%. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not right. You can't give yourself 100%.
That's not right.
You can't give yourself 100% constantly.
If I'm gonna build on Alex's point, right, I would view it slightly differently. It's gonna be more like, I feel like it's something along the lines of the ideal world, you know, where working hard in the end brings like this happy ending. You get you get to overcome every single obstacle because you were working hard, and then you had friends supporting you. It's, you know, I feel like it's more of like an ideal world to them where working hard will lead you somewhere.
Yeah.
If you're gonna make that connection, I would say, in my opinion, it's more of that.
Yeah, the reality that like they idealistically you want to be in a world where working hard will get you the goods, but in reality, if you work hard for too long, it will break you.
Just think about it, right? How we watch a lot of animes, like three of us. But
no, I don't.
How often do we actually
it's
know
not like
the
you were
people
saying you had a
behind it,
full
you know?
hard drive of anime, right? It's not like that at all.
No, I'm not. Mate, all I watch is Family Guy.
Yeah. Hey Lois, I'm watching anime.
Okay, alright. That's the best Peter Griffin impression.
If I were to just like pull it back to the main topic a bit, right? How important do you guys think this type of influence is for kids growing up now?
I mean, you always need to have entertainment, don't you? A life without entertainment is boring.
We always need it, but how important is this influence and shaping a kid's life growing up? Like Alex mentioned, because of the more positive things he got from watching Dragon Ball, he had this idea and this thought of like never giving up. So, if we were to just rephrase a bit, how much do you think any influence at all? How important would it be for kids growing up?
I would call it bonus points, honestly. Because your parents should be the ones that give you the main core values, your core values, you know?
Definitely.
Yeah. But your parents I believe the parents should give you the basis of a core value, and you have to learn yourself whether those core values apply to you or not.
Yeah. But what do you mean exactly? What do you mean, like, if they apply to you or not?
I mean, like, everyone has their own different core values, right? Everyone has their own different personal morals and personal goals in life. Your parents can give you the basic idea of what they think you should want to do in life, what you want to achieve, and how you should live your life. It's up to you to decide if that is actually how you want it to go. You know?
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I can see that.
I would add on, I would put more emphasis on, if I were to become a parent, right, which is quite distant in the future, I would put more emphasis on just teaching, like you said, the morals of life. There's these things that no matter, under no circumstances should you succumb to such actions, such as like murder or just downright illegal stuff. You know, you get what I'm saying? It would be
okay. Maybe not piracy. Piracy is okay.
We're all guilty of it. We're all guilty of it.
We're not promoting piracy.
We're not
here,
promoting
guys.
piracy.
We're not promoting
I'm sorry,
it, but all
FBI.
guilty of it.
Yeah, it's not like, you know, people are like, there's online anime websites, you know, which we don't consume. We do not approve of them.
No, I have a subscription to Crunchyroll.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, Crunchyroll.
Oh
Crunchyroll's the goat.
Yeah, my Crunchyroll subscription. Oh, it's gonna expire. Can we get a quick sponsorship real quick from Crunchyroll?
Back to the main topic. What were you saying, Jim?
No, I was just more like, you know, if I'm the parent, right, I would definitely put more emphasis on just setting down the basic human principles and human morals that you should go by.
Yeah.
Just because you want to achieve something, right? Achieve it at your own power, not at the expense of someone else.
Exactly, yeah.
I can get behind that. I feel as though what I would do as a parent is that I hope I have the privilege to just be able to watch TV or watch a show with my, you know, son or daughter, you know?
Yeah.
That'd be nice, because then I can be like sitting with them and be like, yeah, you shouldn't try to, you know, shoot that guy in the face in real life, you know? Like that one guy that's bullying you just because you saw it in that one cool show. I don't think it's ideal, but just don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that, little Jimmy, while you're watching episode 563,000 of One Piece.
Yikes. I wonder how long One Piece is going to go for.
Isn't One Piece ended? The manga ended.
Did it?
Did it?
Wait, I need to
thought
search
it
this up.
did.
Wait, this is a red alarm for me. Let me search this.
Oh, it has.
In the middle of the podcast, Alex is going to search up One Piece.
Nope, it's still going on. My bad.
No, I think it's got a few more years actually, but it's near the closing arc. We got like a few more arcs before like the last arc or so. We got maybe 5 years, I think. From what I remember, from what I've heard from like actual One Piece fans. Anyways, but yeah, how about you guys?
How about you guys? What?
Oh yeah, wait. Can we-
You just tossed something, you know, at us.
You tossed something at us. We don't know what it is.
Yeah.
No, it was I tossed a salad and nobody caught it.
It's all right. I'll
fine.
leave this in.
I think
It's funny.
It's funny. It's funny. It's
You
funny.
don't have to cut out every bit where it doesn't go to plan, because that makes it sound a bit weird.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think my brain farted. I think, but what were we talking about again?
Talk about One Piece. And then you started. I'm going to search up if One
Yeah.
Piece ended.
And before that, I was just like,
Oh, yeah.
what would you do if you were a parent, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
you said you wanted to
our
sit down
mental
with your
parents,
kid, and I said you were watching episode 562,000 of One Piece. And
Yeah, nah,
Did you
little
both
Jimmy
do that?
better
Yeah.
not. Wait, so how about you, Ronan?
How about I what?
Oh my god!
This is the episode of Curveball, guys.
This is
We're going all over the place.
No, wait, there's no way. How would you how would you take care of your child with this TV stuff? Or, like, would you let them watch old school TV?
I'll tell you what. This might be a bit of a controversial opinion. I'd let them watch. I'd give them some sort of freedom, you know. Because I'll tell you what. I feel like this goes against a lot of the things that we said earlier. But I feel like watching something that is negatively influenced doesn't necessarily make you a negative or a bad person, you know. Like exposing your child to, I don't know, Call of Duty, for instance, right? When the child is like 14 or 15 or something, that's not going to make them a school shooter. They're going to become a school shooter through something else, right? So, based on that, I wouldn't be too fussed about not making my child see, like, some more mature matters. Because I started watching, I was addicted to air crash shows. Like, you know, air crash investigations and stuff.
Yeah.
When I was, like, 9.
Like the ones on YouTube?
Yeah, like, the amount of times when I was 9, I'd be like, oh, air crash... not funny moments. What was it? Air crash clips. And I just watched them, you know, because, like, I was just intrigued. You know, I feel like if you were to sort of guide your child based on what you think they should be watching, it kills their curiosity and doesn't allow them to find out as much as they would have about the world.
Or it's gonna be like, the more you restrict them, the more they're gonna want to watch it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I think my parents in that regard were a lot looser, because they never really monitored my internet, what I searched up on the internet. They never really monitored what I watched. My dad would gladly let me sit down with him and watch an episode of Top Gear or something. He would gladly do that. The swearing, I probably learned half of my swear words from Top Gear. But he'd be totally fine with that. And I'm not saying I ended up as a perfect person, you know. But just watching those shows at an early age, it allowed me to explore different things. You know, I got interested in cars at an early age. I got interested in transportation. These interests wouldn't have happened if my parents had controlled me from watching more mature programs. So I feel like you have to hit a balance between restricting them from like porn and like really, really mature topics.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, because they'll find it themselves.
Yeah, they'll find out themselves. Porn, man. Most kids will find that out for themselves. Like, most kids nowadays don't need the talk, you know, where you sit your child down and go, do you know what happens when people have sex? You know, when a mummy and a daddy love each other very much. Kids don't need that nowadays.
They know.
You guys have the talk?
No, I didn't have the talk.
You guys have the talk? I never had the talk.
I never had the talk either.
You just learned it from... You pick up bits and pieces from all the other websites you come from, and then you get sex ed talks at school. You know, you piece together yourself.
Eventually, you piece it out and you find it out for yourself.
Yeah, you piece it out for yourself.
Which, you know, I'll bring it back at Ronan's point, right? I don't think it went against anything we said, because the core argument we had at the beginning was that the parents are not responsible for it. So, I agree with them rather than restricting it, right? It's gonna be more, okay, if as a parent, I notice you starting to act in a bit of a negative manner, I would guide you back to the correct path and lead you back to the proper path instead of restricting you and banning you altogether, because a life without being exposed to any sort of negativity, right, it's not going to be healthy for you either, because you're not going to be able to deal with it when you grow up in the end.
You wouldn't know how to deal with it, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm saying, like, a
so-
lot of kids are a lot smarter and more mature than you think, you know. If they see, like, a shooting happen in a movie or a game or whatever, they're not going to immediately think, yo, I should do that as well.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of course, there's going to be one person. There always is going to be one person who will watch Call of Duty, you know, play Call of Duty or Grand Theft Auto or whatever, and will go shoot up a school. But that problem never lies in the media that they watched. It'll either lie
lies
in
behind the
mental
underlying
health,
problems they
it'll
have
lie
to
in...
begin with.
Yeah, exactly. It'll
Yeah.
always lie in something underlying. The catalysts, for sure.
Yeah.
It'll always be a catalyst, but it's never the cause. So that's the sort
Yeah.
of point I want to make. You know, I'd
I
gladly let my kid look at less suitable things. I'm obviously not going to like expose my kid to like, here's a man being beheaded. I'll let him find himself out on his own.
And when they're
Wait.
going astray, we guide them back. That's
Exactly,
like
yeah.
the main responsibility at the end of the day.
For me, I think I could provide a different perspective on this because I had a different upbringing compared to Ernan. For me, I felt like my life when it came to censorship and mature content or watching things more mature slowly, like 8+, 12+, and so on, it felt like in a really silly metaphor. It felt like a battle pass, like a tier battle pass. So there'll be different tiers and you'll unlock different stuff. For example, maybe the first tier is I can see blood. Whoa, I can watch stuff with blood now. Next tier, I can see I can hear
I can see
swear
swear
words.
words.
See
I
swear
can
words.
see. No, I can. No, not yeah. If you put a swear word in my face, I'll get blinded like a flashbang. I won't be able to see it.
You're just in big letters. Fuck.
Yeah, that's what they meant by throwing f-bombs, huh?
That makes sense. That
makes sense, that makes sense.
I respect that. That's a clever
Clever,
joke.
it's clever.
Clever? You're clever, gonna give it to you?
For me, I never minded it because, okay, you guys are right though. I'll be brutally honest. When it comes to, yeah, if you restrict it, they're gonna watch it. Because what I did, I was 9 years old and I watched the first season of Telltale Walking Dead. And oh my gosh.
I'll tell you what. I was 9 and I searched up naked titty. You know.
I was unfazed with that stuff. Like, okay, the way I react to blood in game and in real life are completely different. I think I managed to separate the digital world and the real world when it comes to like gore and everything. I freak out way more when it comes to blood. Like, even if I cut my finger, I'm gonna panic a bit. But when I see that a guy getting beheaded or a zombie biting somebody, I'll be like, oh, okay.
It's a game.
Exactly. Like, if you can distinguish between that, I'm sure a lot of other people can distinguish it too.
I mean, to be fair, I had PewDiePie screaming at the top of his lungs too.
Playing Amnesia and what's that other game
to
that
help
you
cover.
played? Slender.
Happy Wheels,
Happy Wheels, yeah!
Happy
Oh,
Wheels.
gosh.
PewDiePie and Jacksepticeye play Happy Wheels.
But yeah, when it came to censorship, for me, it was more like I was restricted so much that I tried to find out myself. I sometimes did regret, sometimes I didn't. Sometimes I get nightmares, sometimes I did not either. But what I did know is that what I exposed myself to wasn't that bad, and when I was restricted, I didn't mind the restrictions because I know I wasn't missing out on too much. Because at my age, I was like, oh, I'm fine with my Teletubbies, my Barneys, my Dexters, or
Dexter
what's it
Laboratory.
called?
That's a good
Yeah,
show.
Dexter Laboratory. Like, I don't need blood to be entertained or whatever. And speaking of blood and violence, my brother and I were talking about this the other day, and we were talking about how we don't see the problem with blood in cartoons or whatever or anything. It's like, I think the problem is not blood itself in media, it's what led up to the person bleeding. Like, I'm sure you don't want to show a 2-year-old a guy getting decapitated, right?
Definitely not.
But if your mother got cut her finger a little bit, the baby's not gonna be like traumatized. Hopefully not, at least. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel what leads up to the blood is the most important when it comes to those kind of cartoons, I think. Because showing a bit of blood is not too bad. Like, look at Samurai Jack. There's blood, but
No, I don't think Samurai Jack's a good indicator.
No, the first Samurai Jack.
was
The
always
first Samurai
intended-
Jack.
The first
No,
Samurai
the
Jack was still sort of entertaining, like intended for like a teen audience. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Yeah, that's the reason why the
The
new one was
okay, fine.
so. The reason why the new one was so mature compared to the other one.
Oh, how about Powerpuff Girls? I think that's a
Okay,
better
Powerpuff
example.
Girls.
man.
Yeah, that's a better example.
Like Mojo Jojo would get like a nosebleed, but it's fine.
Hmm.
The guy got punched in the face. Of course he's gonna have a nosebleed.
Well, it's not like
That's it,
children
really,
aren't
though.
going to know what blood is, because they've probably seen something, like, they've already probably seen blood before. Of course they have. Every child has done something stupid where they, like, cut their finger or something, or shove their foot in an escalator. Okay, that might just be, like, my personal experience, but, most children know what blood is. They probably won't be as fazed by blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that brings to my point of what do you guys think would be, what is the limit? Because, okay, there's obviously like really obvious limits, like don't show a guy getting raped or something to your kids, right?
Yeah.
But I'm sure we can I think it would be interesting to set the bar lower and see where would you guys think.
So you're basically
would
saying,
be
like,
the limit.
morally, what's the most mature subject you'd be willing to let your child watch something?
It's something I'm quite hesitant because I feel like I would decide on the spot based on how mature I feel like they are.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say.
But if
I
there's
felt like
one
my
thing,
child was an immature bastard, I wouldn't let him anywhere near something like that. But if I know he could handle it somewhat like a grown-up, I'd run wild with it.
Yeah, it's gonna be like the parenting feeling you have by the time it does happen. But oddly enough, I feel like if there'll be one thing I can tolerate, I wouldn't mind my child swearing. But
really,
I wouldn't mind unless it is directed at others in an insulting manner. Because
I feel like you can go.
Sorry,
I'll say my point afterwards.
In my mind, right, swearing was never a bad thing if you're using it to express your feelings, right? I'm not saying people should swear, but to me, it was never something that should be condemned at if you're not using it to insult others. It's quite expressive, if you ask me. As long as you don't like overuse it in every sentence, that just makes you sound really uncultured. But
I won't say uncultured, but
I don't know how to word it.
Barbaric.
Barbaric. Yes, barbaric. That's the word I'm looking for.
Okay, barbaric. Okay, yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
But if he were to like drop an F-bomb at home because he hurt himself or something, right, I wouldn't be like, whoa, you should never ever use that word. It's really bad. Instead, I would be like, all right, about that, if you're using to express a feeling,
the correct situation is to use it.
My bot sign would be, do not ever use it as a mean of insulting someone. Bottom line, I'll leave it there.
Okay, I'll twist your. I won't twist your words, but I'll put my own spin on your words, and then I'll say my point afterwards. I feel like teach your child to know when they can swear and when they can't swear.
Yeah.
Because, like, if he wants to go to his friends and say whatever the hell he wants, he can do it. But I'm not going to let him talk to his teacher like that,
Definitely.
You got to tell him, like, when you can use it, when you know it. Because, like, I'll swear at you guys. I'll swear at anyone under the sun if I know them personally.
All of us have sworn at someone at one point.
Exactly. Like, if everyone in our friend group, I will swear at them, and they can swear at me. I don't care. But, we all know that, you're not going to go to the random bloke in the park or something and tell him to piss off,
Yeah. And it's also a matter of where.
Exactly.
We do it like when we're private, when no one else is around us.
You're not going to go to a funeral and say, I'm so fucking sorry, mate.
Yeah.
But, like, back onto my second point, I feel like there's been a generational shift in how people view swear words. Because I feel like the generation before ours viewed swear words as an anger mechanism. Like an anger coping mechanism. Like, I'm angry, so I will use the swear word to further inebriate my anger.
Mm-hmm.
But us generation, we use swearing as a casual conversation joiner. Like, it's filler words. We use swear words as filler words in our sentence. They usually don't mean much. Usually you could say the F word, but usually you're not angry when you say it. It's just a word that fills in the sentence. So I feel like the generation before us put a lot more stress in swearing being bad, while our generation doesn't see it as bad. And I feel like that could also be in part due to the content we are shown growing up.
Exposed to, because
exactly.
I think we've been exposed to quite a bit of swear words, censored or uncensored.
Of course. But like, I feel like I'll just finish. It's fine.
Oh yeah. I was just gonna say. My brain stopped. Yeah. Yeah, I'll take over. Don't worry. When it comes to swearing, I feel as though sometimes, and I've been thinking about this, sometimes it might just be better for some people to just like swear instead of like say other things. I feel people will get less insulted by swear words now and
Yeah.
they'll take more offense to more structured criticism, or if somebody tries to antagonize them in a witty manner, I think that would be more offensive. So, for example, for me, as someone who doesn't swear, I can definitely say that there are times where I would say a swear word would have been less offensive to somebody than what I would say because I just didn't want to swear. Because the words can hurt a lot more if you don't, just resort to very brain dead swear words.
I would
To say it like
I
that.
would still keep the line around just as much as you can, right? Just limit it to not use it against other people,
I also have something interesting.
No, I feel like we're being very disingenuous here, because I feel like we'd all swear at each other, even if in an insulting manner.
I used to swear, and I used to swear even at a much younger age. And this was actually this is interesting because, because I would not swear because I'm just trying to be a role model, right? I just don't want to swear in front of my brother. I don't want to swear at all because I just don't see the point now. It's because it's not. I don't see the point of swearing, and I just don't want to swear because for my brother. That's all. So those two main things. But back then, I would swear because my father swore, but he swore in French. So I would swear in French. So I would swear in French, right? And the thing is, I didn't know the gravity of those words until I grew up. And the funny thing is, I would only swear in French language. I would not say anything bad in English. It would just be in French. Because I did not know what I was saying. I didn't even know it was a bad word. My family would be like, "Oh, it's just very impolite." I didn't get the hint that
it's not. It's a swear word.
Yeah,
it's a swear word. So, for example, I would say to for example, I would be visiting my grandparents in France, and there would be like my aunt's dog there, and I would tell my aunt's dog to F off in French, and I didn't know what I was saying. Like, I'll tell him to piss off or something. And I didn't know. But the whole dinner table was just laughing. And I didn't know why they were laughing.
Oh, I'm glad they laughed, because, in my experience in the same sort of thing, I was playing, a mini golf thing with my
would get whooped.
grandmother. No, I didn't get whooped. I sort of got whooped. I got word whooped. But, I missed the shot, and I threw my golf club on the ground and went, "God damn it!" And then literally everyone there just turned to me and went, "Roland, I don't think you should say that." And I was thinking, what? Mummy said it all the time.
Oh,
thinking,
no.
No. Looking back, maybe that wasn't the best place to say it. But...
Yeah.
I didn't think that word would be quite strong. I don't really consider "damn it" very strong, to be honest.
Well, for a 6-year-old to say it.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. If my 2-year-old son was flipping heck, I'll be like, whoa.
If I were to go off topic a bit, when was the first time you guys dropped an F-bomb?
P2. I know exactly when I did it. It was P2 in primary school.
P2?
I think
because my friend told me what a swear word was, and I was like, "Oh, that's amazing!" And then he also taught me what masturbation was.
Oh my!
I mean, that. Okay, that makes it sound wrong. He just basically told me what a bunch of swear words
So
meant.
we were basically introduced to swearing because of a friend as well. Because for me, it happened in P1, and it's not that my friend told me that I was swearing. It's that it was the first day of school, and he went all over the place just saying it non-stop, and I thought it was a cool word. And
yeah, exactly.
I went home.
This is a cool word, bro.
I went home and I said it, and my uncle, because a bit of a fun backstory. My uncle's the closest person I grew up with, mainly because the age gap was the least. Because when I was in primary, he was a university student. So our age gap generally wasn't that big. So to this day, when I think of it, I was like, thank God he was the only one who heard it. Because if it was anyone else, I could have assured you I would have had an Asian style whooping at my bottom.
Yeah.
But
oh my God.
because he heard it, right? He quickly dragged me to his room and be like, "Alright, we gotta talk. You cannot use that word." And
you're like, "I feel lay."
Worse, I dropped the mega F bomb.
What's a mega F bomb?
The one with the M behind it.
No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, at the age of 7,
I won't inquire further. Don't worry.
So
No, that's okay.
he had to quickly I feel like that's the good thing to do. When your child says it, right, don't just give him a big scolding, but instead explain it to him in a manner where he'll understand not to use it again without having to go through at least a lot of scolding or ripping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, for me, when I swore, I don't remember exactly, but I learned it from the Yogscast, but I would never say it. But I was like, it's P5, and okay, so what we do every year in our primary school is we'll have a book week, and we get to cosplay as like the character, a character from the book. So I was Gandalf for I think P5.
Yeah.
And my friend was getting bullied by like.
Oh
these
wait,
two
you were
girls
an
or something.
ESF student, right? 'Cause you came
Yeah,
from
ESF.
KJS.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that makes
I was
sense.
I was dressed up as Gandalf, right? My friend was getting bullied by two girls. And what I did, and I kid you not, I remember this so well. I got my staff, I did like, you shall not, and I said effing pass.
I can imagine you doing that. Just
Oh my god, man!
I was screaming at the top of
Hey, mate, that's a
lungs.
Giga Chat move, man.
Dude, that is a Giga Chat move.
Yeah.
I'm a boss man.
You're a boss man.
boss man.
Actual,
Oh, man.
that's amazing.
I think what made more funny is that the girls weren't intimidated. They're just like weirded out. They just left it alone.
Oh, no, but you saved your friend from perilous danger.
Good guy, hero.
Yeah,
Good guy.
exactly.
Respect.
Wow, I'm Gandalf the White. I'm actually Gandalf the White. Wow, insane.
Gandalf the Grey, stupid.
No, it's Gandalf the White.
It's Gandalf the Grey, isn't it?
No, because after he did that "You shall not pass" thing, he became Gandalf the White.
Oh, well, I have not watched Lord of the Rings or
The Hobbit.
The Hobbit.
Yeah, I don't know.
So maybe I'm the stupid.
Why. No, I don't know the reason why, but for some reason he just came with a white robe this time, and it's like, oh, I'm Gandalf the White. Just change color.
Yeah, he just change color. Yeah.
From my memory,
I'm Gandalf the Red, bro.
Oh yeah, speaking of like a mature content stuff, I watched Lord of the Rings when I was 8.
I've never watched the series,
I
can't relate.
I haven't watched it, so I don't know how much
Yeah.
I don't know the extent of what mature content is in it. I know there's a dragon voiced by Benedict Cumberbatch, but that's about it.
I think the only mature thing was like goblins getting beheaded. That's it.
Yeah, but the goblins.
There was no blood. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't actually that bloody. Now that I think about it. So I think Lord of the Rings is actually okay for like 10-year-olds or 12-year-olds to watch.
I mean, I was alright with Harry Potter.
I feel like it's something that only the higher age spectrum would get into after a while.
I was maybe Harry Potter
maybe
at an
upper
early age,
primary.
and I feel that was pretty mature. Not mature, but like it had certainly some mature topics in it. Like half of the cast bloody dies in the last book.
Oh yeah, Deathly Hallows. Oh my gosh, Jesus, that one. Too many deaths.
Rest in peace. I forgot who died actually. I haven't watched it already in God knows how long. One of the brothers died.
Dobby.
Spoiler alert for Harry Potter Deathly Hallows. If you're intending on reading it and you haven't read it yet, just in case, you know.
This is a bit late of a spoiler alert, you know.
I'll edit it so this bit goes. Oh,
never mind.
That doesn't matter, dude. If you care about the house elf dying, good. Okay, actually, you should care. Actually, never mind.
Wow, you're so sensitive. If you don't care about Dobby dying,
No, because what I was gonna say is like, because that was a meme. I think back then, like Dobby dying was like a meme or something.
Really? From like 2011. So it's like
2011,
the prime age of you mad bro.
Yeah, you mad bro cholo me gusta. I think. Oh, now that I think about it, yeah, memes have been much more mature nowadays compared to before.
Look, I think memes are funnier nowadays because memes beforehand used to be like. Memes beforehand used to be like, I just had a sandwich like a boss, you know.
But to us that was funny. To us that was funny though.
It was funny back then, but now you're just like, what? But to be fair, I'll probably be exactly the same thing in like 5 months' time or 5 years' time. Even.
We would look back and say, 2020 memes like,
Ronaldinho soccer? Yeah. What a stupid meme.
9 + 10 = 21.
9 + 10 = 21. D's nuts. What?
But yeah. I felt as if, I think for us, our generation at least, and a lot of emphasis is about our generation because this is from our experience, this is our perspective.
Yeah,
and we're not old blokes, you know, we're still really young.
Well, you're an old bloke.
I think we had it kind of easy when it came to entertainment. I felt there wasn't anything to be worried about watching.
I feel like censorship and parental guidance at our period was still much more strict. Because
Well, I feel like because we were watching TV, which is a lot more regulated than
and even
YouTubers.
back then, YouTube wasn't as mainstream as it is now.
Yeah, certainly not.
Yeah,
Like the idea of a YouTuber was still like, oh, you're a YouTuber? Get a real job.
It was a few years away from fruition.
Yeah,
I think it's only until now that people started accepting it as a normal job.
as like an entertainer. Yeah.
Yeah, because
I mean,
people
by
starting
fundamentally, it's literally just the same as like a comedian or an actor or whatever.
Just a different platform.
Entertainer. Just a different medium.
Yeah, because before, I remember before I was watching like a YouTuber talk about this. Before they would have troubles explaining to the bank how they get their income, right? But now they understand because YouTube is much more mainstream and that's a more professional occupation. I think that's a better way of saying it. Yeah.
Well, it's more of an accepted professional occupation because it was always a professional occupation. It was never accepted as such. Oh, you play video games for someone over the internet? Ew, what a loser. But now it's like, whoa, you play video games over the internet for someone? That's epic.
But I feel as though the barrier of entry for the entertainment industry is, especially in like online entertainment like Twitch and YouTube, is deceptively high. Yeah, anyone can do it, but the chance of you succeeding is...
Think about how many YouTubers there are and how many actually hit it big.
Yeah.
I hit it big, you know. I hit 9 subscribers.
Podcast.
I'm living the life, you know. I got a video with 105 views, which was pretty much just me rewatching it every now and then.
Over the years.
Who knows? If I hit the luck of the draw, that might be 105,000 viewers. I could have 9 million subscribers, you know. But just that there's so many people like me who are on 9 subscribers, and there's only one in God knows how many that will have 9 million subscribers. So, you know, like you said, it's deceptively high, but it kind of has to be high with how easy it is to enter.
It's easy to enter, but if you want to survive in it, it all depends on how creative or how dedicated you can get.
Yeah, easy to enter, hard to grow.
Yeah. In fact, there's practically no restrictions from you entering. You can just enter at any time and just chill.
Yeah. Especially if you're doing stuff like gaming or something in such a saturated market, there's no way you're going to break in that easily.
But yeah, I was thinking, I mean, all in all, we went through quite a lot of topics today, and it's all about entertainment, so I would like to leave it like this. Are you guys fine with how... I think we should wrap it up soon, but I just want to conclude with this. Are you guys fine with how entertainment is now?
What do you mean by it?
Given how broad it is, I really can't give an accurate judgment anymore because
there's something for everyone.
Yeah, there's just way too many platforms and different styles of entertainment now. It's just hard to. It's not as easy as it was in our time to compress it at one specific source, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's like video games now. I feel video games as entertainment. Well, video games is entertainment, but you know what I mean, comedy, TV shows, and games. I feel we're at the point, like you guys said, there's just something for everyone.
Yeah,
and that can be. I'm probably sure that's more of a blessing than it is a curse. I don't actually think it could be a curse,
it's definitely
right?
A blessing.
Could it?
Well, I mean, it can be a curse if you think about the aspect that there's so much to watch that you will physically never be able to watch it all.
I mean, it's like a rabbit hole, right? Maybe it can lead to people those who procrastinate heavy are just gonna be in that
loop.
Or just gonna delve deep. Yeah, they're gonna delve deep into tons of shows, and they might, never come back. Ooh, scary.
But it's hard to say because at the end of the day, most shows, right, unless they were really created for malicious purposes, there's no right or wrong or good or bad with the shows. It just all depends on the person watching it and how to respond to it. That's the bottom line of the story. Any show can be bad if you react to it badly, and any show can be good if you react to it positively.
I mean, there are some objectively bad qualities to shows, but in the experience, there's no objectively bad experience.
Yeah. Unless, again, it was specifically created for a malicious purpose, then that would be a really negative thing.
Yeah. But I mean, playing devil's advocate here, even if it was created for malicious purposes, and even if it was something like criminal activity, there are still some human beings who would consider that a positive experience. As twisted as it may be, that's human nature.
It still comes down to how the parents do if we're talking about kids still, right? At the end of the day, it just comes down to how well the parents can react to it and deal with it when a situation like this arises.
Yeah, it's also on the child to. It's kind of hard because the parents need to teach this, but the child should kind of take initiative to be like,
yeah, it's hard to teach initiative.
Mommy, is it okay if Jimmy and I go rob the bank? Of course not. You can't do that.
But then you can conversely say, Mommy, can me and Jimmy play Payday 2 for the Xbox 360?
In real life.
My gosh.
In real, yeah.
Dude, those talks were the worst. Like, I remember trying to ask my dad to play CS:GO, and that was still when I didn't unlock the Battle Pass tier for Blood, right? So I was like 10 XP away from unlocking that, if we're still being the metaphor, the analogy.
I remember playing Far Cry. I think I told this story once.
Yeah, you told the story, but it's a classic. You go for it.
I was playing Far Cry 4 in front of my dad, and I don't know if you've played or watched Far Cry 4, but the one of the ways to heal is that you can you dig a piece of shrapnel out of your arm, which heals you. It's just an animation; it doesn't actually mean anything. But I was healing, and I pressed the heal button. And my character sticks a stick inside his arm and digs a piece of shrapnel out. It's pretty gory, and it's a bit shocking if you see it the first time. But I remember not thinking about it, just thinking, it's just an animation, I'll move on. But my dad was going, Ronan, this game is disgusting!
Wait, how about the sex scene? Did your dad ever see you play?
Oh no, because after that I stopped playing it in front of him. I never got to, you mean what's it called, Shangri-La and everything, where it's the underground, everywhere is naked and stuff.
Is that a thing? I thought they just had one sex scene or something.
There's a part of the game where you go to an underground fight club and a lot of people are naked there.
Oh.
But yeah,
I didn't know that, actually.
I never played it in front of them. I don't play any mature games in front of them. I play FIFA and some driving games. That's as far as I go.
Yeah, but
I'd play GTA, but I drive like a good citizen.
Yeah, for me, back on the Battle Pass thing, I had to really, really try to explain to my dad that it's just blood. And it's just blood. So I didn't really explain to him that it was about terrorism or anything. I was saying it's just blood. And guns. That's it. And he'll be like, "Are you sure?" And then I'll be like, "Yeah, okay." And then plus 10 XP. Unlock that Battle Pass. Easy clap. Let's go. Very easiest unlock of my life. And ever since then, it just went from there, playing bloody games. I mean, to be fair, even though I'm allowed to play and watch more mature stuff, I don't, because wait, give me a second. I'm just too scared. I tried playing Resident Evil 2 the other day. I was too scared, and I only played for the first 20 minutes, and I got so overwhelmed when there's a bunch of zombies surrounding me, and that just scared me so much.
That's a thing that I don't understand with modern video game the industry. The necessity of gritty realism and hard tragic stories like Last of Us 2. I don't know if you've been following that, but the amount of Last of Us 2 just looks like a bunch of people getting shot and stabbed and having generally just tragic life moments. I don't want to play that. As mature and as mature, and I said mature twice. But as mature as it sounds, I don't want to play that. It sounds depressing. I don't know. I want to play Pokemon. I want to play Mario Kart, bro. I don't care none about this mature realism stuff. I want to play what's fun.
I mean, it's like Heavy Rain, right? That game's pretty dark.
That game's pretty dark. I wouldn't want to play that. I'll play Tetris, bro.
But I feel as though some people are able to just muscle through those kind of games and... Oh my gosh, what's going on in my throat? Give me a second. Yeah. Some people just want to muscle through those games and they do it for the story. So yeah, it's gory, it's scary, but the feelings, the story. Look at The Last of Us, the first one.
Ooh.
The feelings for that game. Oh my gosh, the ending. Wow. People were speechless after that. Or The Walking Dead, the end of the season 1. Oh my god.
Oh, don't
Telltale
one. That one. That was too sad.
The Telltale one.
That was too sad.
Telltale.
It tugs your heartstrings.
Yeah, Telltale games. Sad that they are not a thing anymore, but
they are. But they're a much smaller studio. I'm pretty sure.
But they're not Telltale. I think they're just
still Telltale. They're just very they downsized a lot. I don't know. I might be wrong, but it's irrelevant.
Yeah, but Telltale played quite a bit of my childhood because first of all, like I told you guys earlier in the podcast, I watched the first season of Walking Dead Telltale in when I was 9 years old or something, like PewDiePie's playthroughs, and that was scary, but it was pretty dark, and it made me a bit more mature because I learned some sad things, and I don't know, like I think the only reason why I watched those shows was because I was so curious about the blood and stuff and the scariness of the game that I couldn't care for what was going to happen, but little did I know I would learn much more than I would expect. Because despite the game being like, and this goes with a lot of bloody games, yes, some games might be bloody to the point where it's kind of brain dead. Like, it wasn't necessary for a zombie to pull out their intestines completely, like a sausage or something. No, but you have to admit, these guys who make these dark games, they know how to tell a story, so I think it's worth it.
Yeah, worth just to experience it.
But yeah, on that note,
on that note, I feel like we're straying far too off the topic. We'll get to the point where we're going to stray off topics where it's
I mean, tonight has been more of a clustered, more to say, because we're just chilling around, I
don't feel it was clustered. I think it was just a lot more free flowing.
Yeah.
I think it was still quite structured. We just went back and forth.
I'm not saying it's bad. It's just more today. We're just more chill. We just want to talk about a lot of different things,
Yeah, there's only three of us today, so it's probably
yeah.
Next week the others will be back. We might have a guest. We might not. It just might be us four. Either way,
next week we're getting Leonardo DiCaprio on the podcast, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
obviously.
sure, definitely, yeah.
Tom Cruise, Tom Hanks. Yeah, we're getting all of them next week. So be sure to watch next week's.
Yeah.
Be sure to follow us on Spotify and SoundCloud and.
There's no YouTube. Oh yeah, unfortunately, my executive decision didn't go through.
Didn't play through.
Yeah, that didn't go as planned.
You removed that CEO.
Wait, what was the reason again? Wait, why did I get rid?
The uploading it generally takes too long because of our crappy internet speeds.
Yeah.
That's the reason my executive decision didn't work because of that.
It was more practical just
rules, I guess.
Upload it to YouTube.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know the drill.
You
know what's going on. Follow us on SoundCloud.
Follow us on Spotify. Please.
There's no YouTube.
Please.
There's no YouTube. There's no YouTube, but eventually. This has been roughly
hit that
a quarter.
notification bell. Oh wait, no.
Is there a notification bell? I don't think
there's no YouTube. We're not on YouTube. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah. But thanks to everyone who's listened to this point.
Quarter, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna play that outro. We're just gonna play that outro.
We didn't have an outro last one. We had an intro.
No. There's gonna be an outro. This is my new executive decision.
Okay, what's the outro then? What's the outro then?
So, the outro is gonna be a song. Okay, so it's gonna be very funky, right? So it's actually playing right now as we speak. You like it too, right? Ah, yeah, I see. Yeah, you're enjoying
I'm just gonna make the outro the intro from my last episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because that was pretty funky. Fine. Yeah, I'll make the
I'm talking to a listener. Come on. What was that you said? Ah, yeah. I also follow Roughly a Quarter on Spotify and SoundCloud. Yeah. This has been Roughly a Quarter. Have a good one. Episode 3. Poppin'. See you guys next week. Bye bye.